Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Om Vishnupada Pangsacharya Stota Stota Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Gaur Premanande Haribo all glories to seven devotees all glories to seven devotees all glories to seven devotees all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. So today's class will be given by His Grace Radha Raman Prabhu. Radha Raman Prabhu did his graduation from university in South Africa, and after graduating he was very inspired by devotees there. He came in touch with Krishna consciousness, and then later on he joined full time in Brahmacharya Ashram in South Africa, Cape Town, and after he served in Brahmacharya Ashram from 2001 to 2011 in Cape Town. He was a number one book distributor there. One of his main service was distributing Srila Prabhupada books, and he really excelled in that. Last time when His Holiness Bhakti Chaitanya Swami Maharaj had come here, he was appreciating him, how as a brahmachari, and even now, after graduating from Brahmacharya Ashram and entering Grahastha Ashram, how he had been of a great enthusiastic service in South Africa. Currently, he is a software developer. He just resides just in Newtown, and he actively helps in preaching, as well as he and his wife, both of them, very serve many wonderful Vaishnavas when they come here. So we are very happy to get opportunity to hear from His Grace Radha Raman Prabhu. Rivo.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So today we're reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 84. We're going to start with text 20. So Tasmad Brahma Kulam Brahman Shastra Yonas Tvam Atmana Shabyajasi Sadama Tat Brahm Jagranye Bhavan. Translation. Therefore, O Supreme Brahman, you honor the members of the Brahminical community, for they are the perfect agents by which one can realize you through the evidence of the Vedas. For that very reason, you are the foremost worshipper of the Brahmanas. Text 21. Adino Janma Saphalyam Vidyayastapodrishaya Tvaya Sangamya Satgatya Yat Anta Shreya Samparaha Ajano Janma Saphalyam Vijayastaposodrishtaya Tvaya Sangaya Sadgatya Yat Anta Shreya Samparaha Adino Janma Saphalyam Vidyayastapasodrisaya Tvaya Sangamya Sadgatya Yat Anta Shreya Samparaha. Anyone wants to recite? Ajano Janma Saphalyam Ajano Janma Saphalyam Vijayastapasodrisya Tavaya Sangamya Sadgatya Vedanta Shreyasa Para. Ajano janma sapalyam. Aja, today, na, our, janma, of the birth, sabfalyam, fruition, vijayaha, of the education, tapasaha, of the austerities, drisaya, of the power of sight, tvaya, with you, sangamya, obtaining association, sat, of saintly persons, gatya, who are the goal, yat, because, antaha, the limit, shreyasam, of benefits, paraha, ultimate. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Actually, purport by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. Okay. Today, our birth and education, austerity and vision have all become perfect because we have been able to associate with you, the goal of all saintly persons. Indeed, you yourself are the ultimate supreme being. Purport. The sages here contrast their respect for the Lord with his reciprocal worship of them. Lord Krishna honors brahmanas as a means of instructing less intelligent men, whereas he is in fact absolutely independent. The brahmanas who worship him, on the other hand, benefit themselves more than they can imagine. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjala Shalakaya Chakshu Militamya Tasmai Shri Gunavai Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitamya Nabhutale Swayam Rupa Badanyayam Vedanti Swabhyandikam Vanshakapatarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavlavyo Vaishnavyo No Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, so these verses here are clearly emphasizing the importance of honoring the Brahmanas. Like there's a very important verse that we all say, Namo Brahmaya Devaya Go Brahmachaya Chai Jagadit Jai Krishna Govindaya Namaha. And why is it so important? Because we have to say it every day to offer prasadam. And prasadam is very important. So all devotees know this verse very well. And the verse is emphasizing the importance of worshipping the Brahmanas. And that is why Srila Prabhupada established ISKCON to create a Brahminical class in society. Like when he came to the West, he made this prayer, and he was seeing how the Western society is just completely absorbed in the modes of passion and ignorance. So much absorbed simply in sense gratification and how to obtain money for sense gratification, but there's no mode of goodness. There's no real philosophical inquiry, and that is why he felt the need to create ISKCON, to create this Brahminical class in society. Like there are 4 Purusharthas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So without Dharma, there cannot be Artha. Why is that? Because unless people are at least moral, then there can be no trust. And if there's no trust, then you can't have economic development because everyone is trying to steal from everyone else. Like no one's going to lend you money to start your business if they can't trust you. There has to be dharma. People have to have some character. So if we go into the history of like Western civilization, like if you go to the Roman times and the kind of the outside of the Roman Empire, it was basically kind of a might is right kind of society. Whoever has the biggest weapon, he is right. That's it. Like for entertainment in the Roman Empire, everyone would come to the Colosseum and they would feed people to the lions, and everyone would be, yeah, this is like entertainment. And so you can see the kind of society that was there is very much kind of a barbaric society. And then with the advent of Christianity, which is like a third-class Vaishnavism, Jesus was spreading love of God. That is the essence of Christianity. And we can see how it's changed Western society. That that everywhere, like if you go if you tour Europe, you'll see these really beautiful churches that people had spent their lives working on, like extremely intricate and like amazing artwork and statues. And some people, they took lifetimes, maybe 100 years or more, and some people just spent their whole life working on that church, and they're just everywhere. And this is how Christianity changed Western society, that people became moral. And then from that morality came Artha, came economic development. As people became more civilized, then from that economic development came the development of now a kind of mode of goodness, but the development of science, of wanting knowledge, of material knowledge. And then from that material knowledge came more technology and more Artha and like that. But the root of it all really was Christianity. That was what really civilized Western society. And that we can see is that Christianity established a Brahminical class in the West. Of course, the Catholic Church has many skeletons in their closet, but something was there, and they achieved something. So we can see the importance of having a proper Brahminical class in society. And even like today's kind of the values in Western society, like human rights, like if you contrast that to the Roman society, you go from a society that is feeding people to the lions for entertainment, and today's society where they're so concerned about everybody's rights and this person's rights and that person's rights, and it's complete change. Of course, it's a bit of a perverted reflection of actual values of Vedic society, but that idea there of loving your neighbor and the idea is there. And that is the influence of establishing that Vedic society, that Brahminical class in society. And then if we look at now the history of India and how Kali Yuga became introduced with the downfall of the Brahminical class, we have the pastime of Shringi, that Maharaj Parikshit came to the hut of the Brahmana, and he was sitting there in his meditation, and he was so much absorbed in his meditation he didn't even notice that Maharaj Parikshit had entered his hermitage. And so Maharaj Parikshit became offended, and he took this dead snake and he put it around the neck of the sage. he took the snake and he put it around the neck of the sage and left. And then the sage's son, Shringi, came and he saw this dead snake, and then he became offended and he cursed Maharaj Parikshit. And this is the beginning of this kind of downfall of the Brahminical class. And why does this downfall? Due to pride. So this is what we have to be careful of. Pride cometh before the fall, as they say. So that so that pride, and then if you look what happened to the Brahminical class after that, they started advocating meat eating. They had so many, they perverted the Vedic kind of animal sacrifices, and meat eating just became a normal thing. Even today, you see in Nepal, they have this festival, what's it called? The Gandhi Mai festival, where they kill, I think it's 250,000 animals they sacrifice. Like blood is just on the streets, just blood everywhere. And this is in the name of religion. In Nepal, it's called the Gandhi Mai festival. They still celebrate it today. Yeah, and they kill like vast numbers of animals, and just, yeah, like I said, blood is everywhere in the name of religion. So therefore, Buddha came to just clean the whole thing, because clearly the whole process of religion had become destroyed. Because if there's no compassion, then where's the religion? So Buddha came to teach ahimsa, non-violence, and that was 500 years BC, before Jesus. And then one king called Ashok, after some devastating battle, and he saw so much violence and blood and killing and all that, he became Buddhist, and he spread Buddhism throughout India and spread this idea of non-violence and being peaceful. And then Shankaracharya came in 800 AD, and he brought the Indian society back to the Vedic understanding, but of course with this Mayavad philosophy. So Buddhism was teaching that everything is zero, nirvashesh. Like Prabhupada came to destroy nirvashesh and sunyavadi. Yeah, so that is this Buddhism. Everything is zero. The ultimate goal is to become nothing. Very depressing philosophy. Yeah. So then Shankaracharya came and he said, no, it is not zero, it is one. Yes, everything is one. That everything is God. I am God, you are God, this table is God, everything. And you can worship anything. If you want to worship a carrot as God, it's all good, because the carrot is also God. So that was their understanding. And so it is a slight step up from Buddhism, because at least now the Vedic scriptures, a perverted understanding of the Vedic scriptures had been established. And then in 1200 came Madhavacharya, and he said everything is two, dualism, that there is God and there is the living entity, and there's no question of the living entity ever becoming God. And then, of course, as we know, Lord Chaitanya came and he established Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva, that simultaneous oneness and difference. How we are all one with Krishna and we are simultaneously different. In the same way that the sunshine is one with the sun, but at the same time it is different. Yeah. And we see, because of this downfall of the Brahminical class in India, then the Kshatriya class became weak. So when the foreigners came into India, initially the Mughals, then the Kshatriya class now could not defend India and India became Jai Shishi Gauranitai Ki Jai. No, the Kshatriya class could not defend India, and India became ruled by these foreigners. So that was the situation that Srila Prabhupada appeared in, that Indian society was very much dominated by these Mayavadis, all these false gurus, and therefore Prabhupada preached very heavily against them. Like I got one quote here where Srila Prabhupada, I think this is on Juhu Beach, he's having this discussion with Dr. Patel. And Prabhupada is saying, what is Ramakrishna? Don't talk these nonsense. Simply they have misled. That is all. Dr. Patel. Simply you do Bhaja Krishna. Don't think anything else, and you'll get all your intelligence there. Prabhupada. Therefore Krishna has said, Ma may come. Don't go to these foolish rascals. Ma may come. Otherwise you'll be misled. Because they are misleaders, rascals. Dr. Patel, you are so very hard. Prabhupada, I must be hard. Dr. Patel, hard, harsh, hard and harsh. Prabhupada, the whole world is spoiled for these Mayavadis. Therefore, I am very much hard. Dr. Patel, what? I don't say hard, hard and harsh. Prabhupada, no, we must be harder and harder. Dr. Patel, hard and harsh, doesn't matter. Prabhupada, I don't make any compromise with these rascals. No words, no. I never made that. Even if I don't get any disciples, I'll be satisfied. But I can't make any compromise like these rascals. I cannot make. Ekas chandras tamo hanti nacha tara sahasraha. If I create one moon, that is sufficient. I don't want many stars. That was my Guru Maharaj's principle. That is my principle. What is the use of having number of fools and rascals? If one understands rightly, he can deliver the whole world. Yeah, so we can see Srila Prabhupada's mood. To create one moon, one pure devotee, to save everything. So that was when Prabhupada came to the West. That was what people knew. They knew all these different Mayavadi gurus. And of course, they made compromises. And that's what they told Prabhupada. I think maybe even his godbrothers told him, you cannot preach pure Krishna consciousness in the West. They cannot take. And we can see that Srila Prabhupada's godbrothers before went to England, into London, and they tried to preach. I think they were preaching to like the very high class people. And then when I think it was one Lord asked him, what is it that we need to do to follow this Krishna consciousness? And he told them, you just need to give up meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex, and gambling. He said, that is impossible. So you can see Prabhupada's mystic power to make the impossible possible. What is Prabhupada's famous saying? Impossible is the word in a fool's dictionary. And that's what he did. And when Srila Prabhupada came back to India with his dancing white elephants, and people ask him, what is your mystic power? You know, this Sai Baba with the afro, he is creating ash, you know, and he is doing mystic powers. Where's your mystic power? Because obviously to be a guru means you are God, isn't it? And God has mystic powers. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, this is my mystic power. And he points to his Western disciples. that he has got these hippies and turned them into happies. And that was the stage that people were in that Western society. If we look at these four Purush authors, that they had so much, his disciples had so much author, they had so much money, so much karma was there, so much intoxication and sense gratification was available, and therefore became tired. Yeah, they became exhausted with sense gratification. They wanted moksha. And this was the mood of the 60s. People wanted to escape. They wanted to just drop out of society. They weren't inspired anymore by society. There's nothing there for them. They didn't see any happiness in sense gratification. And therefore they wanted this moksha. Of course, they didn't know what is moksha. And Srila Prabhupada came by Krishna's arrangement to give them that moksha. So Prabhupada referred to them as old crows. Like as you get to the garbage heap, you see all the crows there, quack, quack, and they are enjoying all the garbage. So then some of the crows, they are old crows, and they are like, oh, they can't stand this garbage anymore. So he referred to his Western disciples like old crows. They've had so much sense gratification. And we can see in India now that India is becoming more enthusiastic about Hinduism, and I think a large part of that is ISKCON's influence. Now you have decent leaders in India, whereas before, we know about before all the nonsense leaders that India had, so much corruption was there. But now India is starting to develop economically. And why is that? Because Dharma is there. Because people are becoming more honest and truthful, and there's less cheating, there's less corruption. People are voting for honest leaders, and therefore the artha is happening, economic development. And then people are now getting into karma, sense gratification. Now they can have the American dream, isn't it? The nice car, the nice house, the awesome flat, AC in every room. The American dream. Like new crows. These are the new crows. So this is the danger of economic development. But fortunately, also we have such an amazing Brahminical class coming up in India, offering so much shelter to people. Like there's this article recently, it's in a big UK newspaper. It's called The Monkfluencers. It's about the monkfluencers. You get these big people in social media called influencers, and they have millions of followers, and people even pay them to endorse their products because they have such influence. So there's a new class of influencers called the monkfluencers, and they talk about 5 people as modern day monkfluencers. We have Sadhguru. We all know about him and his nonsense. And then we have Jai Kishori, who's not directly ISKCON, but she promotes bhakti and like that. And then we have Gaur Gopal Prabhu, Haribo. Yeah, then we have Jai Shetty, Haribo. He's also a devotee ISKCON. And then we have SB Swami. He's also there. So of these 5 people that are in that article, 3 of them are ISKCON. Isn't that amazing? And this is a Brahminical class. Of course, their mood isn't exactly hard and harsh like Srila Prabhupada, but everywhere there's a place for all different styles of preaching, and that is showing how we have to be practical. Like when Srila Prabhupada was leaving this world, he asked Giriraj Swami, how will this movement continue when we're gone? and they were saying, giving all spiritual solutions. Oh, if we really be pure and we really chant the name, and Prabhupada said, no, organization and intelligence. This is how it will go on. So this is the Brahmanical class, the intelligent class. So we have to be intelligent of how to preach. We have to judge the tree by its fruit and see what is the practical results of our preaching and experiment. You know, devotees don't like this word experiment because that it means mental speculation. But sometimes we have to try new things to see what works, what doesn't work. You know, judge it by use our intelligence and do things dynamically, which I appreciate here at Newtown. Like when I first came here, I said, "There's no Sunday program." I thought this is like strange, and then I got connected with the DLF, and I see you have this philosophy of communities and having people in small groups, and yeah, I find that very good. Like often the very big temples, everyone comes together, and it's a bit impersonal. You know, and it also becomes like a bit cliquey, and people have their in groups and their out groups and like that. But I like this philosophy, and that's not directly given in Prabhupada's books. It's kind of a some intelligent understanding of how to form communities and like that. Whereas the hardcore traditionalists say, no, you have to have Sunday feast. And if you don't have everyone at Sunday feast, that is deviation from Srila Prabhupada. But you have to judge by the fruit. You can have many, many Sunday feasts. And that is also bona fide. We can use our intelligence. So that is a Brahmanical class, using their intelligence, seeing what works, and being a little bit dynamic. Of course, not changing the philosophy. When it comes to philosophy, you don't want to experiment. Philosophy is sacred. You know, Guru, Sada, and Shastra, these things are sacred. We cannot experiment with these things. But when it comes to practical application, we can be a little bit dynamic, a little bit trying things, seeing what is working, what is not working, adapting to change. Because that is the role of Guru. He adjusts things for time, place, and circumstance. And times are changing. Times are changing very fast. And even today, in the West, you have like kind of a modern Mayavad. You know, modern Mayavad is this whole, this extreme equality thing that everyone is the same, and men are the same, women are the same. Doesn't matter whatever strange sexual behaviors you have, it's all the same. And, because we're all God. No one is higher and no one is lower. There's no right, there's no wrong. They call it relativism. Postmodern relativism. It's all equal. Everyone's God, and they're all experiencing their Leela in their own way. And who is to judge what is higher and what is lower? This is a modern Mayavad, really. Yeah. And we can see that's even in ISKCON there's attempts to bring these kind of ideas into ISKCON in the name of preaching, that if we get more into that kind of Mayavadi equality vibe, then it'll be good for preaching and all that. But that kind of experiments, whether you're experimenting with the philosophy, that is dangerous. That you don't want. And this is what Srila Prabhupada said would destroy ISKCON. He said no external force can destroy ISKCON, because ISKCON is empowered by Srila Prabhupada, is empowered by Krishna, by Guru and Gauranga. But the internal conflict between devotees, that is what can destroy ISKCON. And what is the conflict? It's really philosophical conflict. That if we don't keep Srila Prabhupada in the center, we don't keep Shastra in the center, well then what is the unity? If we don't keep these things and people want to speculate, bring in different philosophies in the name of preaching and this, then things fall apart. Then there is no ISKCON, because there's no unity. People want to bring in different philosophies, and then Brahmanical class falls down. So we don't want to see a repetition. We want ISKCON to expand. And the root of ISKCON's expansion is Srila Prabhupada. So if we always keep Srila Prabhupada in the center and stick to his philosophy purely, then ISKCON can grow and expand more and more, and we'll see this vision of the 10,000 year golden age happen. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, so have any comments or questions? Alrighty. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Yeah. At some point it was more kind of a republic, and then it became a dictatorship. Like the Julius Caesar became dictatorship. Gandhi Mai. Gandhi Mai. In Nepal. Yeah. Let's see what I do. I thought it was impossible. But bonus would sick out there. Okay.